it seems almost ironic that these two teams have only played 3 times, and Cincinnati has won all 3 times. So this is not a gimme.
And all 3 games have been played here in Cincinnati.
And the weather, it seems, has always been questionable, and in some cases just outright terrible. Kickoff fumbled by Hampton, who picks it up. Gets out to about the 15. Phil Simms, as John Madden said, opening at quarterback. His first start since December the 15th against Buffalo. Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Cratch at right guard. Moore moves out to tackle. Howard crossed the tight end. Riesenberg not playing unless there is an emergency. Hampton and Carthon behind Simms. Ingram and Baker, the 2 wide receivers. But they'll open with 2 tight ends. Howard, Cross, and Zeke Moat, number 84. Both wide receivers to the left. Hampton, the lone setback. And Moat a little too anxious.
You know, one of the things the Giants want to do, Pat, is use this 2 tight end formation.
The snap. False start, number 82 offense. 5-yard penalty.
And
first down.
And run away from number 33, David Fulcher, the strong safety of the Bengals. They want to put a tight end on both sides, see where 33 lines up. Fulcher is one of the best run support safeties in the game, and run away from where he lines up.
And one of the things you were asking last night when we were meeting with some of the Giant players was the difference in cadence between Simms and Hostetler. And we just saw an example right there. Simms, another flag on the play. That's Hampton left side. Tim Crumry made the stop. Howard Rowe, the referee. Mitz, Crumry, and Grant up front. The Bengals play that 3-man 3-4 defense. Francis, Barker, Zander, and Alfred Williams. The linebackers, Wayne Haddix, acquired from Tampa Bay, Thomas, Barney Bussey, and David Fulcher, of whom John was just speaking. 1st and 10 after 2 penalties. Phil Simms, the quarterback. First time in just about a year. Hampton behind Cratch. Stopped by Fulcher. 3-yard pickup. Just getting underway in Cincinnati. That's a final score now. The Dolphins improved their record to 7-6 over Tampa Bay. Convincingly, it's 2nd and 8 at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. First quarter just underway. So Miami keeps their playoff hopes alive. Ingram wide left, Baker wide right. Simms to throw it. Maurice Carthon out of bounds. That should be enough for a first down. Giants. James Francis chased him out.
You know, I think that was important for Phil Simms, too, just to get out there and get that first completion. You know, Ray Hanley was saying that last year, even when Phil Simms was playing, that he's one of those guys who gets excited, who gets nervous before a game, and he used to say, I just hope I can go out and complete a pass today. So I've known quarterbacks that have that feeling, and you like to get them started and get that first completion in them.
Again, they go back to a 2 tight end setup. This is Hampton into the secondary. Hit by Bussey. A gain of 6. And if the tackles are all made by the safety men, you've got a problem.
Yeah, and that's been the problem with the Cincinnati Bengals is the fact that, you know, they don't have a good defense, and then when their offense slides a little, boom, the team will slip all the way down to be 1-11. But that 33 there, he is one guy that will tackle you.
And he's a big guy.
They would like to get a man-on-man in the passing situation.
That's Hampton. Right now, a 7-yard gain for Hampton. Let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, in Atlanta, this Chris Miller to George Thomas pass to the end zone, just incomplete. And 2 procedure penalties push the Falcons out of field goal range. Green Bay has the football in a 3-point lead, 1:40 to play, Pat.
Lawrence Taylor over on the sideline, not dressed. That's about the only way you can be sure he's not going to run into the game. So he's not in uniform, resting his injured knee. Same screen pass to Hampton. Crumrye out to make the stop along with Zander. Only got a yard.
You know, we were talking last night to Phil Simms, and he says this whole thing with Jeff Hostetler and the quarterback controversy and having to sit and not play, he said the toughest part for him was just to shut up.
Just to be quiet.
He said he knew that he had to do it, and he said, I'm not that kind of guy. And he said, boy, was that tough.
Well, that's what makes him the pro he is, and always has been. Back to throw. He just found a green spot. Now he's saying his receivers, one of them was interfered with.
Well, that's what you see. He was looking out to the left, and then he threw this ball away. Watch him. See, he's backing out. That means he's going to throw to the left. He's looking all the way to the left. So he saw that happen, and then he had to throw it. Bernie Kosar throw it out sidearm into the middle where he could find some green. Usually when you throw it away, you throw it down or you throw it out. You don't throw it in the middle.
That was Zander that put the pressure on him. And it's 3rd down and 10 at the 40. Opening series of the day. Simms out of the spread, and now he doesn't like it. And calls for a timeout.
You know, one of the things with not being a starting quarterback, Pat, is that you don't get any practice either. So as Phil Simms said, his timing is off, his judgment is off, and you just got to get back in and play to get those things. So when you're on the field and any little thing that goes wrong, you have to take a timeout and go over there and straighten it out.
That game between the Redskins, who can clinch the NFC East today, and the Rams just getting underway. That, as this is a late game, Simms 2 out of 3, 9 yards. The one completion got the first down to Maurice Carthon.
And this is the area that the Giants have been having a lot of trouble all year, is that 3rd and long. You know, they've been able to pick up those 3rd and 4 or 5. They've had trouble all year with the 3rd and long. And the other problem offensively was inside the 20-yard line, the red zone.
That's really where they've had the problem. They just haven't been able to get it in the end zone. Simms again, back in the spread formation. And the Bengals showing blitz, and here they come. Simms gets it out to Meggett. Meggett gets into Cincinnati territory. That's where he was always so good.
And that's what, when we're talking to the Bengals, Sam Weiss says, Phil Simms isn't mobile, we have to go after him. Watch, they come on a safety blitz. The defensive back comes straight up the middle. He's unblocked. Now Simms not only had to see Meggett, throw it to him, but he had to get the ball around the rusher. That was a heck of a play.
A heck of a throw. On 1st down, it's Meggett. No gain.
You're right. It was a heck of a throw, just getting it around Ricky Dixon. I mean, no one blocked him, and he was a square on him. And if he would have stepped and threw the ball, he would have thrown it right into Ricky Dixon. But he had to throw it around and underneath Ricky Dixon.
You know, he was telling us last night, Simms was, that that's one of the things that amazed him about Bernie Kosar, that he could throw from overhead, sideways, underarm, everywhere.
That's what he says. Anytime they see a play like that in a film, they call it a Kosar throw.
Right. And Simms gets it out to Hampton. And Rodney Hampton broke enough tackles to get a 1st down, a gain of 12. Leo Barker made the stop.
I think you're seeing the Giants the way they want to play this game. The Bengals are not a good defense, so the Giants are going to pick on them. They're going to throw some, they're going to throw it out in the flats like this, they're going to run some, They know that they're not a good tackling team, so they're always going to keep their feet, try and run through tackles, do all those things.
And of course, they like to occupy the clock. That's the way they won last year. That's the way they want to win this year. And if they do, they will win. 4-yard gain for Hampton. Stopped by Zander and Dixon.
You know, I think that's the thing that the Bengals are just, they don't have enough good players on defense. And as I said earlier, I think a team, if you don't have a good defense, when your offense slips, your team will go all the way to the bottom. I think that's happened to this team, the Cincinnati Bengals. I also think it's the same thing that's happening to the Los Angeles Rams.
At this time of year, particularly when people start to get hurt and get nicked, you need a lot of good people. Here's Sims. To Hampton.
I'll tell you, Sims is building up a lot of confidence in himself. His teammates are building up confidence in him. And the Cincinnati defense is starting to lose confidence, if they had any, because they can't get to him. They've tried to zone him. They've tried to man him. They've tried the all-out blitzes, and nothing has worked.
It'll be 3rd and 2. And that offensive unit, that's Boomer Esiason there.
That drives the quarterback crazy, having to wait.
What good did the warm-up do you?
You got to have another pregame warm-up.
Here's Hampton. Fulcher came up to meet him with Crumry. And those two bring a big package.
And this is the area where the Giants start having trouble, and that play started it. I don't think they picked up the first down.
No.
They're probably going to have to measure it. If they didn't, Ray Hanley's going to have a decision. In fact, it looked like he already made a decision. If this isn't first down, which I don't think it is, they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Barr put his jacket back on, so that would indicate that you're exactly right if they don't make it. It looks like less than a foot. Sims over with Hanley for a visit, 4th and inches.
Now this is where they used to always run O.J. Anderson. He's not in the game. At this distance, you could almost just quarterback sneak it.
That's not one of Phil Sims' favorite plays, however. Hampton. First down and more. Stopped by Ricky Dixon. Ricky Dixon should be stronger today. He ate up all the turkey off your bus yesterday.
Yeah, we had some leftovers from Thanksgiving on the bus, and we were going to go finish them. And Ricky Dixon came in and said that he didn't get any Thanksgiving dinner, and he wanted what we had, so he finished it off. He had 2 loads of the old turkey. And he's a #1 draft choice. He got a lot of dough. He's coming in and finishing off the turkey. All we got left is a carcass.
He licked the platter clean. Here's Sims back to throw it. Got Howard Cross in the end zone. And right now for another NFL update, let's again send you back to New York and Greg Gumbel.
Pat and John, Chris Miller of the Falcons has brought Atlanta all the way back 16 yards to Andre Rison. The second time Rison's caught a TD pass today. 35-31 Falcons, 40 seconds remaining in Atlanta. Pat?
A lot of touchdowns in Atlanta. None here so far at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Nothing, but the Giants have had the ball since the opening kickoff. Lewis Tillman in the backfield. David Fulcher again made the stop. 5-yard gain, however.
See, now this is again where the Giants offense is having trouble, is inside this red zone, the 20-yard line, and you can see you pick up a second, 3rd down. Now at 3rd and 5, they're not in a bad situation. That was Dick LeBeau there. He's the defensive coordinator of the Bengals, and he's under a little fire here in Cincinnati. But I think it's not the defensive coordinator. I think they just need some more players.
6 minutes left to play in the first quarter. The Bengals haven't had the ball yet. touchdown. Baker. Flag on the play, however, in the end zone.
And it's probably on Eric Thomas. He was the guy who was covering Stephen Baker. Remember last week, Phil Simms came in against Tampa to win the game. He threw the touchdown to Stephen Baker. That one was the same side, and he just ran a post pattern in there.
Howard Rowe.
Defensive pass interference, 27, penalty decline, touchdown.
Well, it's not against Eric Thomas, but Thomas is the guy. You see up on top, see Baker, he just runs a slant in there. Simms throws the ball perfectly. I'll tell you, and that really wasn't bad coverage by Eric Thomas. That was a heck of a pattern by Baker, but a great throw by Phil Simms.
Perfect. Barr with a new holder. The extra point is good. Kavanaugh holding instead of Hostetler. Think he's not excited?
Well, let's just watch that again. Here's Stephen Baker here. Now he's going to come, and you can't let him get inside you. Once he gets inside here, then he knows that all he has to do is get here, use his body, and Phil Simms just makes the perfect pass because the coverage really isn't that bad. Watch it on tape. You see Thomas is off. Boom, he hits that slant in there. Right there, he gets the step, and when he gets the step, Simms hits him perfectly.
So with 5:55 left in the first quarter, the Giants break on top 7-0.
And they did everything they had to do. They had a good drive. They mixed up the run and the pass. They dominated the defense. They kept the ball over 9 minutes. They got in the red zone and they scored. They had a 4th down and they picked that up. That is about as complete and as good of offensive drive as you can create or manufacture. You know, and that whole thing, you know what it does to the Cincinnati defense, but I'll tell you, it also hurts the offense, like you say, having to stand there all that time.
Dingle and Garrett back deep. For the Bengals, it's going to be Garrett. Outside the 30, about the 33. Stopped by Renee Thompson. Boomer Esiason. Playing with a bad left little finger. In front of him, a good offensive line. Munoz, Strafford, Tuzerski, Moyer, Walter, Rodney Holman, still a good tight end. Harold Green and Craig Taylor will start at the 2 running back spots. Eddie Brown back from injury, and Tim McGee are the wide receivers. And Boomer backs out of the fake and throws to Holman. Incomplete. The Giant defense, they do a lot of changing, but basically they start with a 3-man front. Dorsey, Washington, and Leonard Marshall. The linebackers, Banks, Reasons, Diassi, and Pepper Johnson as the Bengals hurry it up. That's the secondary. Craig Taylor, the ball carrier, for a gain of 6.
One of the interesting things here about the Bengals is this no huddle. And what they're trying to do is play up-tempo football today. In other words, not only no huddle, but play it quicker also. Boomer says he would like to get those guys in the front in 3-point stance. To have to stay in those 3-point stances the whole time he's calling the play.
Back to throw. Does. Outside. Taylor. As the Giant defense swarms on him.
And you see who made that tackle? It was Mark Collins out there. There's a penalty flag on the play, but there was doubt whether Mark Collins was even going to be able to play today. You can see he has that big rib pad on there.
He's hurt again, too.
And I think that tackle hurt him. I mean, you could just tell when he wrapped up that hurt.
I was talking.
Holding, number 78 offense. Penalties decline. Brings up 4th down.
4th down. Collins. I was talking to Fred Bruni, the defensive backfield coach for the Giants before the game, and he said we'll just have to wait and see if he can take a hit.
Yeah, and I think they're finding out now that that he took it and he made that tackle and he did what he had to, but that may be the last time today he does what he had to.
Johnson back to punt. Meggett deep for the Giants, standing at about the 15. 7-0. They lead. Good kick. Meggett away from the first Bengal, from the second Bengal, still on his feet, and down at about the 25. Stopped by Mike Dingle. It's 7-0 with 4:21 left first quarter. Again, let's go back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, in Anaheim, Washington can clinch the NFC East title with a win or a tie. Mark Rippon gets them started with a 47-yard touchdown pass to Terry Orr. It's 7-0 Redskins. Meanwhile, Buffalo has clinched the AFC East with a 24-13 victory over the Jets. Pat?
7-0 here. The Jets lost to Buffalo. The Giants are leading Cincinnati.
I tell you, there's a guy, Lawrence Taylor, who hates this. I know you were talking to him on the field before the game, and if you suit him up, you know he's going to go in there because he's only missed one game in his career with the Giants, and he feels that this is probably tougher than anything, is not being able to play.
Well, that's exactly what he said to me. I said, "How are you feeling?" He said, "I hate this. I just hate this. I want to play."
He'll be back next week against the Eagles. You talk about a big game. They got one. They get through this one today. That one didn't things.
That's Lewis Tillman for no gain. Stopped by Leon White. Just over 4 minutes left to play in the first quarter at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. Sam Weich. We would like to welcome those of you who watched Green Bay and Atlanta, where the final score was Atlanta 35, Green Bay 31. Here in Cincinnati, 7-0 Giants. Sims. Flags falling all over the place. Baker might have jumped.
That's the second one so far on offense.
False start, number 85 offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And that's that whole thing, you have the same plays, you have the same snap counts, but when you have a different voice or a different person doing it, they have different pauses. And we're talking to Howard Cross yesterday, and he said that Sims's is a little longer than Jeff Hostetler's was. So far, that's the only bad thing they've done. They've had two guys jump before the snap.
So it's second at 15 at the 22. Sims to throw it. Incomplete. I heard some pain.
I'll tell you, that will give you some pain when you stretch out like that and you get one in the back. That's going to knock the wind out of you. This is what it looks like here. Again, you got to get a little more separation. You do a little out, and you just catch that ball, and you may as well hold on to it because that hit is coming. And I think that one went from the head right up the back, from the back right up the spine to the head. Because he got up holding his head. He got hit in the back, got up holding his head.
3rd and 15. Ingram was the man on the move. A flag again on the play as Sims gets it out to Meggett. He is stopped after a pickup of 2. Ricky Dixon with that added strength there to make the tackle.
And they know it's against the Giants because the Giants punt team is on the field already.
That touchdown pass, by the way, from Sims to Baker earlier, tied a Giant record.
Offense, number 82, penalty decline, brings up 4th down.
An all-time record. So Phil now shares the touchdown record at 173 touchdown passes with a good friend of mine, Charles Connolly.
And an ex-teammate, wasn't it? Was Charlie?
Sure.
Yeah, the ex-teammate.
Holder.
Charlie Connolly, yeah, we used to see him last year at 2 or 3 Giant games. He'll come up and watch the Giants play.
He always does. Landetta. by Bobby Abrams. The Bengals will take over after a 43-yard punt by Landeta. Giants lead at 7-0.
Jackson football is a punt returner. Watch Mitchell Price here, what he goes through before, how he's trying to get, see him balanced like that? He's trying to get moved. He's trying to get his eyes focused. He knows that, one, he has to get up there, he has to concentrate on the ball, catch the ball, then get it up, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of white jerseys right there. Like if there's anything that, if you're a parent, you don't want your son to be, is a punt returner or quarterback.
Here's a outside to McGee. Stopped by Guyton. That's the thing that the Bengals have always done, especially since he's been here.
Well, he's a master at that. Boomer Esiason is a master ball handler. And they have play action where they fake the run and throw the pass. They have run action where they just run the play and fake it and bootleg.
And they go in a hurry. Harold Green, the ball carrier, stopped by Reasons, but he got 5 yards.
See, one thing that the Giants can prepare for the plays that the Bengals use, but they can't prepare for this tempo. They don't know what this tempo is. You see, you have to be ready now. Not yet, because his hands aren't up under the center. Now you have to be ready. Everyone has to be ready to play.
Green again. Stopped by Everson Walls. The Giants have had to make some defensive changes because of the injury to Taylor and to Mark Collins. Walls goes from right cornerback to left, and Pepper Johnson comes out and takes. There's Everson Walls. Pepper comes out and takes Lawrence Taylor's place.
And then Steve Diassi, of course, goes inside and takes Pepper's place.
So it's strange for perhaps 3 people. It's strange for the rest, having somebody different in there. Here's Esiason. Just barely gets rid of it. Catch made by Craig Taylor at about the 42-yard line of the Giants. Reasons and Johnson made the stop, a pickup of 4.
And as you say, Boomer Esiason is playing. He missed last week's game with a bad left finger. It's a tendon that goes across the knuckle. So you can see they got it taped. They have his left finger taped, and then it's taped to the next one. The little one is taped to the inside one, you see, and it has a spread in there so that he can grip the ball. They couldn't tape them together, but they taped it with a spread.
Flea flicker coming. Touchdown Cincinnati to McGee. Myron Guyton back with him. They just got it off. Green threw it back to him, to Boomer.
That's the type of thing that you always have to watch out. You see, they start here, they run in here, and then he stops. Boomer hands off, and then comes back. They flip it back to Boomer, and then he throws the long one. You see, now they really sell the run. They get the motion across. Now watch how the run is sold. You see, everyone comes up, then they throw it back to Boomer, and then by the time Boomer throws it, they have a step on Guyton. Guyton did a good job of staying back there. Usually, the wide receiver like Tim McGee is usually wide open.
Reach. It's the extra point. It adds to his NFL record of scoring in consecutive games. McGee, the touchdown. Esiason. Has to be a happy message. It was interesting what he was saying, or who he was saying was his idol. Boomer, of course, grew up on Long Island. But his idol was not Joe Namath or anybody who played with the Giants. It was Burt Jones of the Colts.
That's why he's wearing number 7.
That's right. Make it out of bounds. Barber knocked him out of bounds. That's Dingle, who's injured.
Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Let's watch that flea flicker again, and we'll see that Green does a good job at taking it in here. Watch the running back. He just takes it well into the line. Now watch what that does to the safety, Myron Guyton. You see Guyton here? He's the guy they're trying to fool. He cannot come up. He starts to come up, then he realizes what it is and gets back. In fact, that's what Pepper Johnson was telling us yesterday. He said, our safeties can't get involved in the run. See, by now he realizes, uh-oh, it's too late. And you see that step where he took the bite on the run. That's the step that got him beat down on this end.
Dingle is the injured Cincinnati Bengal. You help him off to the side. Sam White thinks he's really going to be a good player.
Yeah, he's a rookie, and he's a big running back. And in fact, Sam White was saying not only that, but he thinks he has his best hands of any player on his team.
Right. Other than Anthony Munoz, who's a tackle. Sims to throw it. Got Ingram wide open. He stayed on his feet, went out of bounds. As they move into Bengal territory with a gain of 26 yards.
Well, one thing the Giants know coming into this game, they're a little banged up. We know that Riesenberg isn't playing right tackle. Eric Moore had to move there. Cratch is a right guard. They know that they're going to have good pass protection because the Bengals do not have a good pass rush. So if you're going to have an offensive lineman down and you have to make some switches, you got the perfect opponent to do it against.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Giants 7, Cincinnati 7. Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The score, Giants 7, Cincinnati 7. As we begin the second quarter. Giants took the opening kickoff and held the ball over 9 minutes. Touchdown pass from Sims to Baker, and then the Bengals came right back. Esiason to McGee. Sims to Hampton. Rodney to about the Bengal 40.
You know, the guy that really started Rodney Hampton as a starter and playing all the plays for the Giants, interestingly enough, was O.J. Anderson, who, of course, was the MVP in the Super Bowl last year for the Giants, but he felt that the Giants ought to just have one running back, not use that committee stuff, just have one guy, and that one guy ought to be Hampton.
And Anderson, of course, is his competition.
Anderson was also one of his best friends and a player coach to Hampton.
Sims to throw it. Ingram, fine catch. To the 12.
Oh, that was a late whistle, though. That official saying that he was down, but he didn't blow the whistle till late. I didn't hear the whistle until he was in the end zone, but this is the best pass that Phil Simms throws. It's what they call a seam pass. You have two seams, they just run right down the seam of the defense. It's just about down the numbers on the field. He made a living throwing that ball to Bavaro.
And that throw right there was just about perfect.
Let's listen for the whistle here.
Sims to throw it.
The whistle was real late. The official did come in and say he was down, but they didn't blow the whistle until he got to the end zone.
Lewis Billups was the defensive back. And he started to point. As soon as Ingram went down, Ingram got back up and headed for the end zone.
And the official came in and pointed that it was down, but didn't blow the whistle until Ingram got to the end zone.
Hampton, left side, no gain.
You know, we were talking about that seam pass. Remember that one that Phil Simms used to throw to Mark Bavaro all the time? You have a guy going down both seams, and Phil Simms does it perfectly. He usually looks to one side and throws to the other side. That time he looked to the right, boom, and he threw to the left. See Ingram going right down the seams between the hash mark and the number. Now what? I don't know, unless he was touched right there, but the official will come in and point that the ball's down, but they don't blow their whistle.
2nd and 11. Touchdown Baker. Sims. Phillips again was the Cincinnati defender.
And now Phil Sims has just passed Charlie Connolly as a touchdown career leader. In fact, there it is right there, 174 touchdowns. Phil Sims probably wasn't appreciated all those years that he was starting. Then he got to be a backup, and the backup was always the most popular guy in the team. Now he comes back, led him to victory last week down in Tampa coming into the game, and he has this kind of start today, which is almost perfect.
Some of the throws he has made have been literally perfect. The extra point is good by Barr, and the Giants lead it now 14-7. 14-7, the Giants lined up to kick off. Barr, as they lead Cincinnati with 12:49 left to play in the first half.
Barr looked like he got someone else's pants on today. His pants are like big old baggy pants. They don't look like they fit. I was watching him in the pregame. He had baggy pants on.
Garrett on the return of 25 yards for the Bengals, stopped by Lewis Tillman. Giants 14, Bengals 7.
Is sponsored by McDonald's.
Look at the difference in the offensive plays. The Giants 24, Cincinnati 8. Boomer Esiason got the touchdown to McGee, 41 yards out. Sims is 10 out of 13, 2 touchdowns, and his 174 career touchdowns. That second one to Baker break the all-time Giant team record, which he had just shared with Charles Connolly. Harold Green left side for a yard, and again for an NFL update. Back to New York, our studios, and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat.
Low, incomplete. Intended for Eddie Brown. And Boomer says hurry back. Rarely do they ever huddle. They sort of have a committee meeting.
Yeah, he says they'll huddle, during commercial timeouts, and they'll huddle when they get down on the goal line, but other than that, they don't huddle.
3rd and 9.
I don't know that Boomer's able to get anything on the ball,
No,
Pat. He was talking about that, and that's what he worried about. Not that the fact that the finger hurt, but he just can't grip it and just throw it. He knows that that he can get it out there, but you can't. What's the word? Get the mustard on it, and he can't get that zip on it that he has to. And I think that was evident on that last play. Here's a guy who can get the zip on it. If you miss a couple tackles, you'll put this
on Meggett. Lee Johnson back to punt. Meggett will have some room and a chance. Well, he's made 2 misses. And out of bounds is Meggett by Clark. 49-yard punt. 12-yard return, 14-7 Giants. 11:50 left in the second quarter. Final score in Atlanta. The Falcons keep their playoff hopes alive. Buffalo clinches the AFC East. Their 4th consecutive year. Miami keeps their hopes alive to play after Christmas. So does Cleveland. 1st and 10 Giants. They lead 14-7. That's Hampton. Let's go back and look at that pass that Sims throws so well.
Well, there's no one that throws this better than Phil Sims. If we just let it roll, and we'll see what the seam pass develops into, and if we can just stop it right now, we see that here's one seam just inside the numbers. Here's the other seam. Now Sims looks here, sees the double over here, and this is the one he's going to go to. He's going to go to Baker. See, they both run straight up the seam, looks off one, throws to the other. No one in football throws that pattern better than Phil Sims.
Second down. Maurice Carthon for 2 yards, stopped by Zander. The Rams have 2 field goals from Zendejas. 49ers ahead of New Orleans, and Denver over New England. Battle of field goals, Kansas City and Seattle.
There's a guy who was in hot water all week, Ray Hanley. On Monday they came in and asked him about the quarterback thing, and he said he wouldn't talk about it and walked out. And so that was the headlines on Tuesday, and then
on the back page.
On the back page, he said he'd make the back page, and I think that's his biggest surprise to Ray Hanley this year is whatever he does, the reaction he gets. I think one thing, if you're going to coach a team in the New York area, you can't worry about those things.
If you do.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Very shortly, you'll be out of the New York area.
Yeah, that's right. I think Sam Weiss is listening to some of his critics a little too much too. And if you have the players, you got to go win. And if you don't have the players, you got to get the players. And it's just a game. And ultimately, eventually, it's what they do here on Sunday that you're going to be judged on.
Ray Hanley said his wife was very proud of his performance.
He said now everyone else knows what he's really like.
Sims to Ingram. Flag on the play.
But that's the thing that Phil Sims brings back to this offense. It was tougher with Jeff Hostetler, that 3rd and long situation. That time they're 3rd down and over 10. Now they can pick them up. The only problem they've had with Phil Sims, I think, is that snap count, because they've had 3 penalties already for being offside.
That was a 17-yard gain, holding against the Bengals.
Because other than that, Phil Sims has been perfect today.
Razor sharp.
Defensive holding, number 32, penalty decline, first down, completed pass.
Penalty against Price.
You got to see it right there. He can hit him and hold on in the first 5 yards. After 5 yards, he has to let go, but you can't hold in that 5-yard area. So he did both. He held and longer than 5 yards.
On first down, Sims will throw if he has time. And he does, in the direction of Howard Cross. Incomplete. Bussey back there with Cross.
And I think that was the first time that they've knocked Phil Sims down today.
11 out of 15, Phil Sims.
You watch him here, he knows one thing about Phil Sims, I'll tell you, and I've always felt this way, he is one of the toughest quarterbacks that I have ever seen. No matter what you bring, he stands in there and throws against it.
Well, when we were talking to him yesterday and you asked him what this year had done for him, he said, I'm not hurting. I feel healthy. Hampton, the ball carrier.
Yeah, and let him heal up, because he said that when he came to camp and he was playing in the preseason, he said his foot was really still bothering him. He said even sometimes in the early part of the season when he wasn't playing, his foot bothered him. And he said from about the halfway point on, it hasn't bothered him at all. So if there's been any plus in not starting, it's been that fact that he's had a chance to completely heal that foot.
That was the game he had back in 1985, and they lost. That's a single-game team record that stands and will stand for a long, long time.
Usually when you throw 62 times, you lose.
Ingram with a catch, complete to the 35, stopped by Phillips. 17-yard pickup.
And I'll tell you, the fans are starting to boo because they can't do anything about it. You see the rush, they can't get there. Sims has time, he just steps up in that pocket, even though he gets knocked down again. And look at him find Ingram downfield. They can't cover downfield and they can't rush up in front. And when you can't do those two things, you are in a whole bunch of trouble defensively.
First and 10 Giants at the Cincinnati 36. assist from Crumrye.
I think there was no place to run on that one. You know, they like to get in there between Jumbo Elliott. When you talk about, you know, good run blocking tackles, I think Jumbo Elliott's one of the best. So they want to get in there behind their big left tackle, and that's where they start to run. Then he tried to cut back in there, and he couldn't do it. And in fact, John Elliott was named Jumbo when he played at Michigan by Bo Schembechler, and not only for his size, but in one game, he had like 12 pancake blocks.
And Jumbo has grown since then. Sims incomplete. His receiver, Baker, slipped down. Covered by Eric Thomas.
Remember, Phil Simms was telling us the first game Jumbo was starting at a tackle. He said he wanted to make sure, because the most important blocker for a right-handed quarterback is that left tackle. So they're in the tunnel. And they're getting ready to be introduced.
At the Meadowlands.
At the Meadowlands. Phil Simms says, I'm going to go up, just pat him on the back, make sure he's all ready. He goes up, puts his hand on him, and says, Jumbo, you all ready? And Jumbo throws up on him. But he didn't know what that meant.
I know it's the last time he asked that question.
Or he even got near to Jumbo before a game.
3rd and 10. Blitz again coming as they chase Sims out of the pocket and down Ricky Dixon on a blitz. And they just didn't pick him up.
Well, they didn't pick him up the last time. Remember, watch number 29. Ricky Dixon comes in the same hole he came earlier. They didn't pick him up. The first time, Sims got rid of the ball. That time he got rid of the ball, but there wasn't anyone on the other line. So the Giants better go over there in that sideline, and they better go over that blitz, because they got it twice so far on 3rd down, and they haven't blocked Ricky Dixon either time.
Price back deep for the Bengals, and Landeta will punt from midfield.
Sam Weiss told us they were going to do that, because said the only way we could get to Sims is with an all-out blitz, and we don't think he's as mobile as Jeff Hostetler, and that was one of their defensive game plans, or one part of it.
Landeta letting the clock run down.
Well, they're right there at that 35. You know, that would be a 52, 53-yard field goal.
And I don't think Barr
can't kick it, and Landeta doesn't want to punt from there. He would like to move the ball back 5 yards and give him a better punting angle. Cincinnati may just turn down a penalty.
Delay of game, offense, yardage penalty, decline, still 4th down.
Yeah, see, because that's all they were trying to do, is get a better angle for Sean Landeta to possibly kick the ball out of bounds.
He did a pretty good job, didn't he?
He didn't need the 5 yards.
No. That's not going to help his statistics too much, but that's a great punt by Landeta.
It's a great punt by Sean Landeta. You see, first of all, he gets the ball and he turns to his right. See, he steps it, he turns, now he kicks it. Now watch, he's kicking it for that coffin corner. Now watch when the ball hits and the way it spins, it's going to take the oblique or right angle. Look at it, he hit there, and then boom, it goes out of bounds.
Harold Green, the ball carrier, as the Bengals take the ball from the 2. For no gain, Diassi was out to make the stop.
Diassi was the guy that was the snapper on that ball to Sean Landeta. I'll tell you, that puts a defense in great position.
2nd and 10. And if you're playing defense, you get a punt like that, position like this, you really don't want to let them out of there. To Brown. 9 yards, not quite enough for a first down. Carl Banks on the stop. Banks, by the way, had some very, very happy news right before the game. About an hour and a half before the game, in fact. His wife, Cheryl, gave birth to a baby boy, 9 pounds, 11 ounces, Carl Jr.
Yeah, Carl Banks came out for the pregame warm-up, then ran back to the tunnel and found out that his wife gave birth at, I think it was around 2:16.
Right. This is going to be close. It is a first down, not close enough for them to measure. And again, they go into their meeting, not a huddle.
Watch, Leonard Marshall is coming over and playing on the left side. He usually plays the right side. He just made a switch. He came from the right over here to the left. Part of it, I think, is to get away from the tight end over there. The other part may be Anthony Munoz.
That makes sense. Whistle blew. That should be no play.
We're just talking about Anthony Munoz, one of the all-time great tackles. He came into the game with a bad left shoulder. But whatever it is, he is in real pain now.
And the Bengals down to just 5 offensive
Delay of
linemen.
game, offense, half the distance to the goal line. Repeat first down.
(14-7) Giants. Weish upset. That cart out on the field as Munoz is still down. And let's see if we can figure out not to play doctor or try to attempt to do that. Watch.
Well, here he is right here, Pat, and he starts on pass protection and he gets hit in the back from that side. That's what caused the injury. We don't know exactly what the injury is, but Anthony Munoz, you see him pull out there, and he's making a block there. Now watch it, Pepper Johnson's, and right there he gets hit from behind. And then as Boomer goes down, he goes down. There's Munoz, 78. You see he's over on the other side. You see 78. Again, one of the best tackles that's ever played this game. He gets knocked off balance here, and then he gets run into from the backside. He came into the game with a bad left shoulder. And I think that's the thing that's bothering him. See the way he's holding the left arm. And
What
again,
a player.
one of the great players of the last 12 years. One of the real classy guys in this game. The ultimate team guy, the ultimate competitor. Leader.
And he's in pain.
And he was saying that he had to play one-armed most of the time, and Anthony Munoz with one arm has been as good as most tackles in this league.
So as I started to say a minute ago, with Munoz out now, they were already down to 5 offensive linemen. So it'll be makeshift from here on. Scrappard moves out to the left tackle spot. Taylor, for a gain of about 6, stopped by Pepper Johnson.
They ran right into that left side where Munoz just came out. Instead of running away, they ran right back to that side and made big yardage.
Green, not much, if any. Stopped by Banks.
Now it's going to even hurt to take that jersey off. I'll bet you with the pain that Anthony Munoz is in right now, they'll just cut that jersey off. Because there's no way that they can take it. That would hurt more than the original injury.
3rd and 9. Well, he said to us yesterday he had trouble lifting his arm anyway. And to get your arms up to take the jersey off would really be painful. Here's Esiason back to throw. A into the pocket outside the green. And Craig Taylor, beg your pardon. They got 7. That's not enough for the first down. Reasons made the stop.
After we were talking to Anthony Munoz yesterday, Boomer Esiason came in and he says, he said, I always wonder when these young players come in, these rookies, and if they just realize what a great player he is and how long he's been a great player. And he said, sometimes they think that they don't even know what this guy has done and that he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and they're playing right next to him and with him, and he said, you don't even feel that they know that.
And in most cases, I think he's probably right. He was just talking about his work ethic. Megan. Back to the 30. Megan, who brought one back 70 yards for a touchdown last week against Tampa Bay. 50-yard punt by Johnson. 11-yard return by Megan.
Yeah, this is the 3rd Cincinnati Bengal that has gone into the locker room so far. Leon White, linebacker, went in earlier. We see Anthony Munoz going now. And the first one that went in was Mike Dingle, their rookie running back that they're so impressed with.
The Giants take over at their own 40, leading 14-7 with just over 3 minutes left to play in the first half. Tillman is now the running back. Sims chased up into the pocket and out of the pocket. Phil Sims to about the 45, tripped up by Barber.
Phil Sims did something there that you're not going to see a quarterback. He attempted. I don't think he got it, but he attempted a straight arm. Now, how many guys with their right arm, when you're a right-handed quarterback, they always take care of that right arm. Now, this is a competitor. When he says that, when he goes with a bootleg, boom, there's a free guy there. He said, hey, I got to get my hat. I got to get out of here. And watch him. He starts there, and he started to give a little straight arm with his right hand. You won't see that often.
Like never, flags on the play. Sims gives to Tillman, who's got enough for a Giant first down. But penalty markers down.
I think Ray Hanley was telling us last night that this could be a good game for Tillman.
Defense, offsides, number 98, penalty decline, first down.
You see the penalty there, jumping offsides. Maybe they don't have Sims's count down. You pull the old guard Roberts pulls, boom, you get right in behind him, just slash right in behind him.
First and 10. One more play before the 2-minute warning. Sims will throw it. And does outside to Tillman. Maybe got a yard. James Francis made the stop. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. 14-7 New York.
I'll tell you, I'll bet you that guy will be ready to play somehow next week.
Well, that's what he told me before the game.
He said he'd be there?
That's my goal, he said.
And make the club in the tub.
Howard Cross with the reception from Sims for 6 yards. Lewis Billups knocked him out of bounds.
Sims was arguing about the first down. The fans were booing. They said, hey, I know if you can't cover him, at least tackle him. Sims thought he had a first down. Out, not right there. No, he didn't have the first down. See, they leave that little pink thing out there to show you where the first down is. See, when the guy moves, the guy that's holding the marker, when the ball comes to him, he'll move, he'll bail out, but that thing stays in the ground, so that's how the player knows where it is.
3. This is Tillman for a loss. David Grant was the first there, joined by Crumrye.
Well, you can't run short yardage that way. I'll guarantee you, if you're going to run short yardage, that wouldn't have been a bad passing down because it was 3rd and long. In fact, Ray Hanley may go for it now on 4th down. But if you're going to run, you got to bang that thing up in there. You can't get back in there and stop before you get to the hole. I don't care what the defense is doing. You can run first down like that, second down like that, but on third and short yardage, you got to bang it in the hole.
4th and 5. Price back deep for Cincinnati. Last time from midfield, Landeta kicked it out at the 2-yard line.
That's what the old football fans like. You know, guys who've been watching football for 50 years. I remember when I was coaching, I used to get more letters from old timers about the coffin corner kick.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
See, again, the Giants want to take some time off the clock, get the ball back there where Landeta has a better angle to get the ball out of bounds. Although the stuff he put on that last one, he didn't need a better angle.
The coffin corner, you're so right. I hear a lot about that. I know you did, as you said.
The Bengals don't have anyone back, Pat.
No.
They got all 11 men up in the line of scrimmage. No returner. They're coming on a block if you're going to do this.
Landeta gets it off in a hurry. And they down it at about the 2-yard line again.
Well, Landeta knew that when they put all 11 guys up in the line of scrimmage. They didn't even have a punt returner back there. He didn't have to kick it for the corner. He just could kick the ball out there and let him race. You see what it looks like here? Everyone's up there. The only guy back there is an official. They got all 11 guys up there.
This is a heck of a play by Renee Thompson to knock it back and keep it out of the end zone.
Well, you know, that's why Renee Thompson has been a Pro Bowler at doing this. A Pro Bowl special teams player, like you say, a heck of a play of not touching that line and getting that ball out of the end zone. The Giants just activated Renee Thompson today.
Siason to Ickey Woods this time.
Hey, the Giants want another one here.
No gain for Ickey Woods as Esiason heads for the sideline. 14-7, 45 seconds left first half. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the Cincinnati 3. Woods again. No gain again. Stopped by Leonard Marshall. Giants have one more timeout, and they just took it.
You see Perry Williams come in there and try and finish that off? You usually don't see that. But when you get a corner in there and there's a whole big pileup, watch this. This is like playing short yardage. You're playing at the other end. You get a whole bunch of jerseys. The first guy, Leonard Marshall, stands them up. All your friends come and watch the last guy in there. Boom! There goes Perry Williams getting some of that.
Might have gotten a yard, so make it 3rd and 9 at the 4 with 38 seconds left. So the Giants might get another shot.
Their only problem is that they don't have another timeout.
Right.
And unless the Bengals do something foolish here, the Giants shouldn't get the ball back.
That's what they're hoping to accomplish. And they realize just exactly what you said, as the team is already headed for the locker room. And they'll let the clock run out in the first half. Not a lot of cheers for the Bengals as they head for their locker room. And the Giants sitting on a 7-yard lead. So that is the end of the first half with the score. The Giants 14, the Cincinnati Bengals 7. The Giants 14, the Bengals 7. Both teams have returned from their locker rooms, Bill Sims included, who has started for the first time since last year successfully.
Bill Sims looked like they put that number 11 on as an afterthought. But he's had really a pretty good first half. I think, you know, he got Baker 2 times for 2 touchdowns. He's completed 4 passes to Ingram, which is a big thing, hitting his outside receivers. The only negative thing, I think, is only 4 for 8 in 3rd down conversions. And you see on the Bengals side, they just haven't gotten enough first downs. They only had 4 first downs, so that results in everything else is going to be a small number.
And that bottom figure is sort of typical of what you'd expect from the Giants. There's Boomer Esiason. They've had the ball over 20 minutes, and the Bengals haven't had it quite 10 minutes yet.
And you know, if you look at their possessions, you see they had 8 plays and they had a punt. Then that second time they had that flea flicker and they got a big 66-yard touchdown, and then they couldn't get anything else going other than that trick play. They really can't get any running game going, the Bengals can't, so if they don't get the running game going, then the play passes don't make as much sense.
Which is so much a part of their offense.
It's the same thing with the Giants. You see what they did? They started out that first drive perfect. 16 plays, 84 yards, touchdown. And then they had 3 plays and had a punt. Then they had 5 plays and another touchdown to Baker. And then the last 2 drives they bogged down because they didn't pick up third down conversions.
And both those last 2 punts were down at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, great punts by Sean Landetta. One was a great cover by Renee Thompson.
Look at the comparisons, and Barr is just about set to kick off to begin the second half, with the Giants still very hopeful for the playoffs, hoping to keep those hopes alive. Garrett. Finally down at about the 18 by Jared Bunch. 16-yard return.
You know, I don't know if Boomer Esiason really felt that that left hand of his is ready to play, or he was ready to play, but as he told us yesterday, he said, all the guys say, if I don't play, we don't have a chance, so how can you not play if that's what everyone says? You got to play, and that's the way he's playing today.
And they start 1st and 10. And the pass is caught by McGee. And now juggled, let's see, incomplete. They hit the ground.
Well, McGee was arguing, but there were 2 officials that were right there on top of the play. Boomer Esiason is looking up. He wants to see the replay. We'll look at it here. You see the ball coming into McGee, and he has possession as he goes down, and then it's out of his hand. You saw it right there, because he really didn't argue enough. And those 2 officials were awfully strong. I mean, they were both pointing, no, 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 no. McGee gave one little argument, then walked back to the huddle. So he knew.
After further review, play stands is called on the field. Incomplete pass brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, that ball was laying there on the turf. That was an easy one to see.
2nd and 10. We start the first offense by Cincinnati of the second half. Esiason back to throw again. High and incomplete. Eddie Brown was the intended receiver. That's a pretty good indication that he really seems like every time he has tried to throw to his right, it's been a problem.
And look at it. I mean, the ball is just floating. That thing's going out there like a knuckleball. And you can see that, that one took off high on him. The first one that he threw to McGee kind of went low on him. And he said if that tape job bothered him today, he was going to take it off.
And still play.
You see, he has a problem there. He puts his left hand up under the center, so the ball is snapped onto that left hand where the bad finger is.
The Giants showing
he can't do that.
He's changing plays. 2 seconds left. And they finally get it off. Incomplete. Intended for McGee.
Yeah, there's a tape job we were talking about earlier, Pat, where he taped the left finger, and then that's the bad one, the end finger, and taped it to the next one in. And he was worried that one, that the injury bothers his grip, and 2, that the tape job, may slide off the ball, and the tape against the ball may bother his delivery. And as you just watch his deliveries, something is bothering him, because those balls aren't coming out of there in spirals, and they're coming out sideways and every other kind of way.
Johnson. Kick is short. Takes a giant bounce back into Bengal territory. So the Giants will take over in good shape, leading by a touchdown. 14-19 left to play in the third quarter. The Giants 14, Cincinnati 7.
You know, Phil Simms was saying when he wasn't playing, he said his kids used to even get on him. He said his son told him one day they're driving back after a game, and his son says, "Hey, Dad, you look good sitting on the bench today." Then his son said, "You know, my quarterback rate," and Phil didn't react. He said, "My quarterback rating's higher than you." Then the neighborhood kid said to him, "Hey, do you even have to take a shower?" He said, finally said, "Hey, that's enough, guys."
Hampton, the ball carrier, left side. Stopped by Fulcher.
You know, you look at the passing by distance, you see that Phil Simms was 10 of 12 for 84 yards, throwing the ball under 10 yards. Between 10 and 20, he was 3 out of 6, and the 2 touchdowns were in that area. He threw 2 deep ones, 1 out of 2 for 28 yards, and he didn't throw any passes over 30 yards.
2nd and 9, and he'll put one up here. 14 out of 20. If Phil's uncomfortable, he doesn't look like it or react like it.
Well, that jersey looks like it has a new middle or something. Look at the number area is a different color than the rest of the jersey. He looked like somewhere he went and bought an insert.
Or it looks like they gave it to somebody else and he got it back.
Something's wrong there.
14-7. Back at Riverfront Stadium, Pat Summerall along with John Madden. Giants and the Bengals, with the Giants leading Cincinnati 14-7. 2nd and 9. Giants have the ball at the Cincinnati 47. Simms. A fluttering pass as he was hit just as he let it go by Tim Crumrye.
And that's what caused the flutter. I'll tell you, he was really hit. And we talked about that earlier, that Phil Simms will step up in there and throw it. I think that ball still could have been caught, but it looked like just as Ingram got it in his hands, he was hit. But watch this rush. It's going to come straight up the middle. You see him when he stepped in. There's Crumrye right there hitting him. And he had, as he was throwing, he got twisted around, and that twisted the ball around.
3rd and 9. Meggett to Simms left. The Bengals showing that blitz again, and now they back out of it. Simms to Meggett. Meggett has the first down inside the 35 to about the 33, a gain of 14. Again, for an NFL update, let's send you back to New York, Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, at Anaheim, the Redskins needing a win or a tie to clinch the NFC East. Mark Rippon finds Ricky Sanders for 30 yards and a touchdown. It's 14-6, Redskins over the Rams, Pat.
14-7 here, the Giants over the Bengals.
And the Redskins are always going to be looking for something to clinch, knowing Joe Gibbs. Clinch a playoff, then the division, then they're going to be home field throughout the playoffs. He'll always have a reason why they have to win.
In the championship, in the Super Bowl, Hampton tripped up in the backfield by Barker. A loss of 2.
They haven't gotten a lot of penetration. That time Leo Barker got in the backfield, and that's the way that you foul up any running game. The Giants have hit some passes. They've been able to throw to their wide receivers. They really haven't been able to just pound the ball at this defense today, and you would think that they should be able to.
David Grant limped off after that last play for Cincinnati. Here's Simms. Scans the field and finally throws incomplete.
And he was watching Odessa Turner there, and you see him point to the outside. I think that he had a lot of time. He had good pass protection, and I think he was watching Turner, and he could have waited and waited. And he was telling Turner, If you just would have gotten away from the coverage, I would have been able to hit you. And Turner just stood there and waited for it. Now when McCaffrey comes in, number 81, the rookie wide receiver from Stanford, that means the Giants are going 4 wide receivers.
2 to the right, 2 to the left. McCaffrey had a good day last week down in Tampa. And Sims takes a timeout. Matt and I will be at the Meadowlands for the Giants and the Eagles as Reggie White leads the #1 ranked Eagle defense while Jim McMahon has taken over at quarterback. It's the Eagles and the Giants in the rematch. That's next Sunday here on CBS.
One thing about McMahon, he can grow hair, can he?
And he's got a lot of glasses.
And he is one tough competitor.
On 3rd down, Sims gets it to a wide open Ingram. Ingram close to a 1st down. Stopped by Bussey and Dixon.
And David Fulcher can't believe it because in the secondary, David Fulcher has been the best tackler. And he missed that tackle. And it's a 3rd down. Now, you can miss a 1st down tackle, a 2nd down tackle, but when you miss a wide open 3rd down tackle and that gives the other team a 1st down, that gets to any defensive player. And the guy who did it is Fulcher. Watch him right in the middle of the field. Watch Fulcher come up. He has him. He zeroes in. He wraps him. Ingram spins. Ingram gets a 1st down. And Fulcher is one upset defensive back.
And so the Giants go from the 23-yard line of Cincinnati. This is Hampton. Inside the 20, about the 19. Stopped by Fulcher this time.
Yeah, I think he's still mad from that last play. I mean, the guys, David Fulcher is one of those, tough guys that play in the secondary and a good tackler and a good player against the run, and they take pride in their tackling. And when they miss a tackle, he won't get over that one till next Friday. And then you're 1-11, and you may be 1-12 after that. I'll tell you, those missed tackles just sit in that gut a lot longer.
Fulcher's one of those guys who take pride, a lot of pride, in his play and the organization. Here's Sims. Behind Baker, incomplete. My fault, he says.
Yeah, because everything was picked up. They came on a blitz, and they had pretty good pass protection. Watch Fulcher's number 33. He's going to come in the blitz on the left side of the screen. Carthon, just 44, comes in. Boom, he picks him up. They give Sims time. Look at that whole bunch of guys in the middle. They had everything blocked. That's why Phil Sims said, hey, that one was my fault.
3rd and 7. The ball on the ground and got it back. Now they say incomplete pass. Never had it.
And there it again is in that, that red zone. You get down there, they move the ball all over the field. They should be running this team out of the stadium, but they're only ahead 14-7. And part of it because they have trouble in this area and on 3rd down. That was an ugly looking play, wasn't it?
From the beginning. Parr will try the field goal from 37 yards away with a new holder, Matt Cavanaugh. Hostetler had been the holder. Doesn't matter. The Giants increased their lead to 17-7 with 10 minutes and 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. We might stay around for dinner, John.
I'll tell you, here's what they tailgate like in Cincinnati. This is good. Look, you got your chicken, you got your big old meat here, and you got your corn there. And then this one here, you got all that meat there and potatoes. And then here they got those hot dogs and things. Look at this guy here. He has an ice chipper that he's trying to flip those burgers with.
Say, that's kind of a weak spatula, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was an ice chipper. Just take it off that's how they get their ice off their car window. That's not a bad load. I mean, there's a lot of old red meat out there.
They back into the goal line. Garrett back into the end zone. Garrett does and try to bring it out. Not a very popular decision here at Riverfront Stadium from these fans who.
Well, when you're 1-11, you
11,
haven't
yeah.
done much that's been popular all year. I like those tailgates. I mean, they have some meat and spuds out there. I mean, these fans don't look like they're enjoying this at all. I mean, you can't, and you got to give them, you know, a T for toughness or something.
Don't you? A lot of them came, like they used to say in the early days of the AFL. A lot of them came disguised as empty seats. Green, the ball carrier.
Look at that guy there. He's thinking, what in the heck am I doing here at this game today?
And so is his wife.
No, well, she's probably brought him. She's probably saying, well, just sit here and enjoy it. It's better than anything else we'd be doing. Don't move.
I don't see too many happy couples up in the stands, do you?
No, there's not too many happy anything. I haven't even seen a happy cat or something.
2nd and 9.
The happiest was the tailgate.
Tyson to Brown. First down, 14-yard pickup. Hurry back.
I'll tell you, it's tough when you're 1-11, I would imagine, just to, you know, lose those 11 and then come back and get ready and get up to play. And I think you kind of see the effects of that here today.
Well, Sam White's the head coach. Put them through a tough Monday, a tough week, in fact.
Well, it all started with a Monday where they stayed about 4 or 5 hours longer. He had them out running gassers, and that upset a lot of players. Because you know, if you want to be tough all year, but don't change in the middle of the stream.
Fires into Taylor. Another Bengal first down, stopped by Guyton. At about the 48, a 13-yard pickup.
And that was a defensive letdown there. That was one of those things, you know, I think you got him, just let him go, and no one did anything, and they ran right through the defense. When they got all the way to Guyton, that may be the thing that the Bengals need to get some life in them, and the Giants better take it away again.
Eight minutes left, third quarter. Play fake. Pass incomplete. Intended for Eric Caddis.
You know, the interesting thing, Pat, is here's the exchange tape. In other words, this is how the Giants looked at the Bengals. You see, they just see the play, and then you see the scoreboard, and then they go right to the next play up here on the line of scrimmage. So you get to see the plays on the film exchange, but you don't get to see the no-huddle. And that's the thing where they can get a plus with this no-huddle offense.
Slash into Brown. Could be off. Chased by Wall. Down inside the 20 to about the 18 by Perry Williams.
Bengals got a couple of big plays here, and the Giants have stopped tackling. The Giants on that run, they stopped tackling, and here they're not going after the same aggression. Watch here. A guy gets turned around. That's Walls. He gets turned around. Now after a guy, you got to get up there and you tackle him. You can't have that. You can't afford that missed tackle, because after that missed tackle, Brown was able to gain about 10 more yards, 15 more yards.
First and 10, Cincinnati, a 34-yard pickup. They're at the Giant 18. 7 minutes left, third quarter. Here comes the blitz. Size and high over the head of Eric Caddis. Greg Jackson came up to hit him.
Boomer looks like he's getting a little zip on it. Now, watch the snap. You see, he has to get his left hand up there, and the ball is going to hit right into the left hand. And so it starts to hurt then. Then when he hands off, he'll get that left finger hit. And then, of course, when he throws, he has to throw off that left finger.
Handoff is to Taylor. Flag on the play. Pepper Johnson made the stop. Holding Cincinnati. Sam White yesterday at practice was going through every conceivable situation such as this.
Holding offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The Giants 17, the Bengals 7. 2nd and 20.
That holding call was called on Mike Arthur. He's the guy that is playing in there now because Anthony Munoz isn't there. Anthony Munoz got hurt, had a dislocated elbow in the first half.
So they move the ball back to about the 29. And Esiason goes back to throw. Does. Pass is complete to McGee at about the 25, a gain of 3. Everson Walls up to make the stop. Everson.
The Giants have gotten their tackling back now. Here's their pass rush. You see Pepper Johnson, he has taken Lawrence Taylor's place. He's playing up on top as a rush guy. Leonard Marshall is playing down here in the bottom. Pepper is the guy that hit Boomer just as he threw it. Here comes Pepper after Boomer. That's like a show you'd see on Saturday morning. Who's chasing Boomer? It's Pepper.
Sounds like vaudeville.
Look out for Pepper. Okay, Boomer.
Esiason with time this time. The ball is to Taylor. He's down at about the 17 by Carl Banks. Pickup of 8.
You know, one thing I think I've seen more in this game, Pat, is more guys that catch the ball or run with the ball spinning. You know, just as they're getting hit, that may be a new NFL move this year where you get hit and just as you hit, you spin, because we've seen about 5 or 6 spinners so far in this game, which I think could be a league record.
I'm sure it is. 35-yard field goal attempt by Breach. Johnson holding. Plenty of distance. And successfully makes the Bengals put some more points on the board, and they trail 17-10.
All right.
Murder, she wrote. And then on the Hallmark Hall of Fame, 1 against the wind. Back to about the 40.
Yeah, Jimmy Breach leads the league in a lot of things. One is small feet. I mean, he's a kicker, but he has like a size 6 shoe. I mean, this thing here kicks a lot of field goals, but from here to here, it's only size 6. The other thing, he leads the league in kids. He has 6 kids. I think he's tied with
first place.
Well, tied with Bubba Paris.
Right.
I think Bubba Paris, who's now with the Indianapolis Colts, has. So he has a lot of things in 6s.
Here's Phil Simms back to throw. Gets it outside to his tight end, Howard Cross. And again, for what's going on around the league, back to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, in Anaheim, Mark Rippon to the rookie Ricky Irvins out of the backfield. Watch him scoot 25 yards for the touchdown. The Redskins' lead over the Rams is now 21-6 in the third quarter. Meanwhile, best touchdown of the day, the Space Shuttle Atlantis at Edwards Air Force Base a short while ago. Pat?
That's a real update.
You see how easily that shuttle landed? I mean, that's amazing. They got guys way up in there, and they come down and land it that easily.
The landings here are not that easy.
Boy, I don't. There is a stupid idea.
Would you support the space program, the space shuttles and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah.
You would?
I don't know what. I wouldn't even think about that. That's dumb. Look at these fans again. They get a field goal. That didn't even wake them up. Look at that guy. He's calling for a hot dog. Well, he's trying to get a dog, and
the other guy's going to sleep. Not a lot of teeth and laughter around here. Here's Sims to throw it. Ingram is open. Lost the ball. The Bengals have it. Now it's smile time. Sander made the recovery.
Yeah, we were talking about spins. Watch Mark Ingram. There's a good pass. Ingram catches it, and it looks like he got caught in a spin. Look, he's trying to spin, and as he spins, he gets hit from the outside. He's just coming out of a spin, and whap, that ball gets hit out of his left arm. Watch him here. He comes, it's a zone. They use a spot zone. He just sits down, and he just got caught in a spin.
Esiason back to throw on first down. It does. Green was the receiver.
I don't think the Giants want to give the Bengals too much life here, because one thing with this no huddle that the Bengals are going to right now is they can set the tempo. I don't think this would be an excellent time for them to speed up the tempo.
In fact, that's what Boomer Esiason said to us yesterday when you asked him what he thought they had to do, and he said keep it up tempo.
I would think an up-tempo would be getting the ball snapped quicker than they're doing it.
2nd and 7. Boomer to work. Pass complete up the middle at about the 47-48. Again to Green. Only 3 yards.
I think one thing that the Giants need, and Phil Simms said, he said, you know, watching on Thanksgiving, you watch Detroit win, you watch Dallas win. He says they have playoff fever. He says he doesn't feel yet that the Giants have playoff fever.
They had it last year, the fever. Esiason incomplete. Flag on the play as Pepper Johnson hit Boomer. And Boomer gets up limping.
He has really been banged up this year. And, you know, it's not only been that finger. I mean, he's had finger and shoulder and leg and everything you can get. Pepper Johnson, again, is taking Lawrence Taylor's place. Watch him come from the top of the screen. Right there, the ball is thrown, and he goes after the knee. That was a late hit, and he went down low after the leg. That was Andre Waters. It would be a fine.
A minute 46 left to play in the 3rd quarter. The Saints have tied the 49ers. Denver leading New England. 1st and 10 here. The handoff is to Green. Not much doing there.
I wonder if they could try the flea flicker again. You know, that's how they got that one big pass, 66 yards.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it would work again, but they'd get a little running going. They'd get those safeties up there, but Guyton and Jackson, since that play, have been staying back there. There's Jimmy Breach. He's working that size 6 shoe. Boom!
Esiason fakes. And the flat for Riggs, who can't hold on.
He looked like a guard trying to catch that thing, or a nose tackle. One thing, as we said, Boomer fakes well, but he just can't control the ball. I mean, that was a good throw. You have to catch that ball, but Boomer has not thrown many spirals today. I mean, his balls are coming out there like knuckleballs.
He didn't even try to throw hard yesterday in practice. He just simply can't hold on to the ball. Back in the shotgun. Giants show blitz and don't come. Boomer chased by Marshall. Got rid of it to McGee. Enough for a first down. Renee Thompson made the stop.
He moved on that one, and then he moved out to the right and put something on it. Watch the pass rush here. They've been doing a pretty good job all day on Leonard Marshall. That's the first time that he's got there. But watch what Boomer does in getting that ball. Just as Marshall's getting him, he had to zip that one out there, and that was a perfect pass, and that one was a spiral.
1st and 10, Bengals at the 24.
doing a good job of pass protecting against Leonard Marshall. With Lawrence Taylor out, Marshall becomes maybe the only pass rusher other than Pepper Johnson.
And Munoz being out too. Quickly to Green. Maybe a yard. Guyton up quickly. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Giants 17, the Cincinnati Bengals 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back at Riverfront Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Look at this score by quarters over the season.
And you can see that the Giants defensively have not played well in the second and fourth quarter. Look at the opponents. 85 points in the fourth quarter, and the Giants have only gotten 46 points. So, yeah, they haven't played as well offensively, but the Giants haven't dominated defensively this year either, and that's been one of their problems, especially in this fourth quarter.
The size that saw the blitz coming. Harold Green slipped out of the first tackler, stopped by Walls. Let's again, for an NFL update, go back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, at Candlestick, the Saints needing a win to clinch a playoff berth. The 49ers trying to stay alive for one. Fred McAfee, 12 yards in the touchdown, and it's 17-17 in San Francisco, Pat.
3rd and 5 here at Riverfront. We just are underway in the fourth quarter. The Giants up by a touchdown, but the Bengals down within field goal range, certainly. Esiason incomplete, with a flag on the play. Intended for Eddie Brown, and Everson Walls was close to him.
I think they're going to call that on Everson Walls, but from here it looked like pretty good pass coverage. And Everson Walls was on Eddie Brown. Boomer was watching him all the way.
Number 28, first down.
Of course, that's not pass interference here. If there was pass interference, it had to happen before that.
Had to be early.
That's a good play. The defensive back has as much right to the ball when it's in the air as the offensive back does. I mean, as the receiver does. Let's just watch it from here. We'll see it right here at the bottom of the screen. Unless he grabbed him there, see, when he went by, he put his right arm out. And that's the only thing I could see that they could call. Because after that was just good pass coverage.
1st and 10 at the 10. That's Harold Green inside the 5 to about the 3. Make it the 4.
The Giants have just had trouble putting someone away, and I think that, you know, you can see it here today. If you're going to hammer someone and put them away, this would have been the team to put away. I felt before the game the same thing last week. You get a Tampa Bay, you get a Bengals. There's no team, maybe other than the Indianapolis Colts, that are down more than this Bengal team. You ought to bring them in here and hammer them.
2nd and 3. Green again. A loss of about 3. Eric Dorsey got the penetration.
Eric Dorsey did. Eric Dorsey plays the run well. Doesn't give a lot of pass rush. He plays that left end, and he was in what they call a pinch move that time. He was pinching down to the inside, so there was no cutback at all.
That'll make it 3rd and 6. Again, the no huddle.
Lawrence Taylor's been awfully quiet on that sideline, hasn't he? You'd think he'd be a little more into the game.
Esiason for the corner. It's going to be out of the end zone, and again a penalty flag down. Reggie Rimbert was the intended receiver.
And again, Everson Walls was a defender. They had just called one on Everson Walls that gave him a first down. Everson Walls has moved from right corner, where he's been the starter, to left corner because of Mark Collins being out. Hanley looks like he has a cold. Every time we look at him, he's coughing over there.
Number 28 in the end zone. spot the ball on the 1-yard line, first down.
Here it is right here. You see the hand up there? That's what they call right there. Oh, he had both hands up there. Then he had the body up there.
Backed him out of bounds.
Yeah, he did everything. Backing him out of bounds was the only thing that was okay. He got him with the right hand, then he got him with the left hand.
So it's first and goal at the 1. The Bengals trying to tie it. Ricky Woods to the left side. Esiason throws incomplete.
They should have just handed the ball to Icky Woods. It was a run fake and a great fake. As we said, Boomer Esiason is great at that. They call that run action. Everyone just sells out like it's a run. And if you look at that play, I think Icky Woods would have gone in there. Watch 30. There's no one that could have gotten to him before he got to the goal line. But on the pass, Jackson was able to get there.
Second and goal from the 1. Now they don't get in. Myron Guyton was the first man up, no gain. Third and goal.
Well, Guyton made that play. Jackson made the play before, the two safeties. Watch Guyton come up. There's Diassi. He's ready for the cutback. So there was no cutback for Icky Woods because Steve Diassi was in perfect position for the cutback, and that let Myron Guyton come up there and make the tackle.
Third down. Green. Close.
Oh, they didn't give it to him. Well, if you don't give him a touchdown, where are you going to mark it? The guy has his foot on the goal line. If it's on the goal, you can't mark it where that left foot is. No, that's a touchdown.
It is a touchdown.
They put the ball over the line. If the ball breaks the plane or touches the line, it's a touchdown. Watch out where that guy spots it. Let's see if the ball breaks the plane. But where that guy put his foot to spot it, that official, he had it as a touchdown. He spotted it as a touchdown. There's the ball. There's the plane. That ball did break the plane. And then when the official come in to spot it, he put his left foot there.
Even where it's marked, it's breaking the plane.
Yeah, right. When they first put the ball down, the nose of the ball was on the plane.
They're going to review it.
I don't know. It looks like the knee, it's where the ball is when the knee goes down. But when the official spotted it, he spotted it on the goal line.
Ruling on the field.
I think it went over and then came back.
Play is being reviewed.
They're reviewing.
See, I think the ball goes over before his knee goes down, but then when he lands, the ball is in this side. And all it has to do is break one time.
After further review, play stands as called on the field. Fourth down.
And then, as you said, they spotted the ball. They may have brought it back, but if we looked at it earlier, the ball was right on the goal line.
Green. That's a touchdown.
Well, they didn't have far to go.
Breach will try the extra point to tie this game with 11:15 left to play. Second touchdown of the year for Harold Green. (17-17). The Bengals tie the Giants.
Is sponsored by Budweiser.
Lawrence Taylor inactive today. Stephen Baker has scored both Giant touchdowns from Sims. Esiason 41 yards out. Touchdown pass to McGee.
Well, I'll tell you, there they are again, Pat, and that finally tying the score. They finally got those people to move. They're showing some excitement now.
Just brimming with excitement. Johnson's kickoff is a shot deep into the end zone, down by Ingram.
Now this crowd has gotten into the game. The Giants have let this team off the hook. You look at this, the fourth quarter woes. The Giants have been outscored 92-46. That includes today. Now that drive, that last drive, was helped by 2 third-down pass interference penalties by Everson Wall. It was a good drive by the Bengals, but there was a little help on the penalty situation.
The time of possession in the second half has turned almost completely around. Dominated in the first half by the Giants, in the second by Cincinnati. 11:08 left to play, and Sims to throw it. Incomplete, intended for Howard Cross. Odessa Turner, beg your pardon. Almost intercepted by Wayne Haddix.
Watch, right at the last second, you'll see him come into the picture. You see him right there. Haddix comes in, boom, gets that right hand out there and knocks the ball out of there. Looks like Odessa Turner thought he had that one, and he was on his way.
And you noticed after the ball was knocked out of there, who hit Odessa? Fulcher.
Now, he's going to be around. He's still upset about missing that third down tackle on Ingram.
2nd and 10. Here's Sims. Incomplete. Turner again, the intended receiver.
You see the difference in playing on the road? The Giants started out, they had that good drive. This crowd was quiet. You couldn't hear a thing. The people weren't even moving. Now they give them a little life. The team comes alive. The whole crowd is excited now. That one wasn't even close. That was a one-hopper.
Makes it 3rd and 10.
This crowd is up now. They're standing up. They're waving. They're shouting. They're yelling defense, and they're yelling yells they don't even have. They're giving them a standing ovation. I've never seen this.
Not when you're 1-11.
No.
Here comes the blitz, and now they back out of it. Sims incomplete. Ingram was the nearest defender, but Barney Bussey was the only man who could touch it.
And the Giants have given this stadium life, and the Giants have given this Bengal team life. You talk about a change of personality from one half to the next. Look at this group of people.
Landetta back to punt. Price is the return man for the Bengals. Landetta's punt off the side of his foot. Bounces to Price. Got away from a couple, but there are too many Giants in the neighborhood. So Cincinnati will take over with 10:40 left to play, and the score tied at 17.
I want performance.
In Cincinnati. Score tied at 17. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The Bengals have the ball at their own 30. 1st and 10. 10:40 left to play. Green, the ball carrier. Around the corner, and a flag on the play. Stopped by Steve Diassi.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Pat, about the Giant defense, we looked at, the trouble they've had in this game in the second half, the trouble they've had over the years. They are not tackling as well this half. I mean, on that play alone, there's a penalty that's going to go against the Bengals, but the Giants had 3 or 4 missed tackles.
Number 85 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That seems to be something, that poor tackling that's happening throughout the league.
Yeah, 85 is Tim McGee. You can see there, right on Williams. I don't know what kind of call that was, but You're right. I mean, I thought in the last 4 or 5 years the tackling in this league has not been up to standard, but it was.
1st and 20. Brown is the man on the move. Simonson had the ball out to Eddie Brown, and he couldn't hang on.
You see Steve Diassi out there playing. He's playing inside starting today. He has some dirt on him that I have no idea where he got him. That's one thing I hate about artificial turf stadium. You know, I was watching the high school highlights here last night. All the guys had dirt and mud and stuff on them. Diassi has stuff, and I don't know where he got the stuff, because there's no stuff on this turf, and no one else has that stuff.
If anybody can find it, Steve could. Incomplete. A flag on the play. And again, it's Walls on Brown.
And that's the 3rd one on Everson Walls. Where's the last one? It was 2 third down penalties that Walls got on him.
28, 1st down.
Also a 1st down.
I'll tell you, he is really upset about that one. Watch him. He's right down here in the bottom. He's just playing zone. He goes in there and looks like that's not even close. He just grabbed him and tackled him before the ball was even there. I don't know what he was doing on that one. I don't know what he's arguing about.
The fake by Esiason, who's hit, but gets it to Brown, who's open. Eddie Brown out of bounds at about the 33-yard line by Walls. Boomer was hit by Leonard Marshall just as he let it go.
I tell you, in that one, they're going to work on Walls here. Watch Boomer Esiason. Watch his fake. He fakes, then he bends over, puts the ball down there. Then he's looking for his receiver. Receiver again working against Everson Walls. Just runs away from him. I'll tell you, when you talk about play fakers, Boomer Esiason or Steve DeBerg are the 2 best in the league. And Eddie Brown just ran away from the defense on that one.
Got 38 yards. That's Green, and no place to go for him. Here comes Esiason to make a block, and did. And he hurt himself.
Yeah, because he blocked the biggest guy in the Giants team. I think he tried to block Lorenzo Freeman, who weighs over 300 pounds. If the quarterback's going to block, that's just a reaction. But watch Boomer on this block. Here, it's just a handoff. It's going to the right. There's nothing there. Boomer just carries out the fake, and then they start running back. Watch 75. He weighs 320 pounds, and Boomer cuts him down. You know, just the blocking isn't much, but just that falling on you after you're done. I mean, that's not a crunching block. Then the bad thing is he blocked with his left shoulder.
2nd and 8. Esiason chased, got rid of it to his tight end Rodney Holman. Holman gets a bingo 1st down. 10-yard pickup.
That's the first reception for Rodney Holman, the tight end. A year ago, that ball would have been blown dead. That would have been in the grass. This year, they changed the in the grass rule. Watch Pepper Johnson, 52. Boomer saw him. They would have blown that ball dead right there. That one, they did not blow it dead, and they let Boomer Esiason get a completion.
And they move the chains. 1st and 10. Ball's at the Giant 22. 8:15 left. 17-17 tie. Esiason back to throw on 1st down. Harry Williams with a dive in the end zone. McGee went in and Boomer threw out.
Well, that's a rule for a quarterback. When you're down there around the 20-yard line, you got the field goal. Don't lose it. It's 1st down. You don't have to force anything. If you're going to throw it away long and outside. You can just feel this Bengal sideline crowd and team change. And I think there should be some urgency in the Giants sideline.
2nd and 10. Yeah, because not only this game, they've got a tough schedule coming up. This is Green.
They just get
about 5. It's Taylor. I said Green. Sorry.
They're just getting a case of missed tackleitis here, because they probably missed more tackles in this quarter than they have in the whole game. And Lawrence Taylor's getting out of his seat now, because I think he knows if you're going to have a big game against the Eagles next week and against the Redskins the following week, you got to win the game this week.
Leonard Marshall moves over left side this time. 3rd down and about 5 at the 17. Esiason. Incomplete. Eddie Brown and Holman in the area.
You see Walls now, he's on that official. He said that's the same thing I did before. I knocked the ball down and you called a penalty on it. That time, you see, he's just out here zoning. He said that time you didn't call a penalty. He said, I've just been doing the same thing. But here you see he comes in front of him. See, there was no contact before. The other ones, there was contact before. Everson Walls is one upset cornerback.
Breach from 35 yards away. And the Bengals take the lead with 7:10 remaining. It's Cincinnati 20, the Giants 17. Kentucky against Indiana.
They better jump on that ball. That's a live ball. Yeah, Lee Johnson got his foot in that one. Looked like the Giants were going to let it go down there in that end zone, but that's a live ball. Have you ever seen that shot there where a cameraman gets underneath?
What do you think's in there?
I don't know. There's a man in there. There's a man and a camera thing. It looks like an Easter basket, but there is a cameraman in there with a camera. See him?
He's moving it.
It's not an Easter basket. It's a person.
20-17, the Bengals lead the Giants. 7:02 left now. Back to Hampton. No gain. Maybe a yard. Alonzo Mitz.
Well, the Giants are defending Super Bowl champions. They got the crowd livened up against them now, and they talk about things like leadership and veterans and guys that have been there. This is when they have to do it. This is when Ray Handley needs Phil Simms. This is when he needs that veteran offensive line. When he needs those receivers. If they got down in scoring position, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little O.J. Anderson, who you can see is standing there trying to keep warm right to the left of Ray Handley.
That's Fulcher limping out.
I would say he has a cramp. The way they do that, you just get a cramp and they're trying to get that straightened out. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think there has to be urgency in the rest of this game for the Giants.
Ingram goes in motion and Simms goes back to throw it. Dumps it outside to Hampton. Crumry hustled out to make the stop. There's a guy, Tim Crumry, who enjoys playing this game.
Well, you know, the thing about Tim Crumry is, remember in the Super Bowl he had that bad injury, and he said he realized that how much this game means when you think you can't play it again. And he uses words like spunk and spirit and fun, and I think that he said once you're out of it and you don't know if you can ever play, when you get another chance, he said you sure do enjoy it.
First down. .6:13 left to play. The Bengals lead the Giants by 3. 20-17. The clock is running. First down. Simms throwing deep, incomplete. Again, for an NFL update, let's send you back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Pat, at Candlestick, 2 plays earlier, instant replay reversed a 49er touchdown. Then on 4th and goal, the New Orleans defense, led by Von Johnson and Sam Mills, stops Tom Rathman at the 1. The Saints holding on to a 7-point lead. 5:45 to play in the 4th, Pat.
We have 6:01 left to play here at Riverfront Stadium, with the Bengals leading the Giants 20-17. The Saints leading San Francisco, the Bengals leading the Giants, the 2 teams that played for the NFC Championship last year. Sims has the ball batted away. Rodney Hampton maybe was the intended receiver.
Well, you know, this is good defense downfield. See, because Phil Simms is looking downfield. He's looking for someone downfield. He doesn't have anything. Then he had to come off the downfield and try and throw it out there to his outlet, Hampton. So that one you have to give to the defensive coverage or to the receivers for not getting open, because he waited as long as he can before he dealt it off.
3rd and 10.
This is a big down.
The Bengals again show blitz. And the safety men back out of there. They tried to stay with Meggett, they couldn't. Meggett gets out of bounds at about the 37. Ricky Dixon was sort of the mirror they had on Meggett, but Meggett got away from it.
Meggett will get away from most mirrors, and I think that's what you do in a big play. You need a big play, you go to your big play guy. And the big play guy in the Giant is Dave Meggett. You see him? This is what they call scat. He can go right or left or just get open. He goes through the line. Dixon tried to stay with him. Then boom, he just cut out to the left and picked up the first down.
Flag on the play as Sims will go through it. Pass incomplete, intended for Baker.
And I think there was another flag later, Pat. I think there's 2 flags with different penalties on this play.
Howard Rowe again.
We have offsetting fouls. Number 97, defense offsides. Holding number 27, offense. Penalties cancel out. Replay, first down.
Yeah, that's one thing I never have figured out, John. One of them's a 5-yard penalty. One of them's a 10-yard penalty. How do they cancel out?
I don't know.
That's the first time you ever said that.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Sims incomplete. Intended for Ingram and bounced away. Haddix was the nearest defender.
The thing that I do know is that the Giants don't have to get away from the run. The time is not against them yet. I mean, the score is 20-17. They only need a touchdown to be ahead. Of course, a field goal to tie. But you can't get where you just throw the ball every down, especially when you still have 2 timeouts left and over 5 minutes to play.
5:21 to be exact. 2nd and 10. The Giants at their own 39. Sims to throw it. And down he goes. From Rye. The first sack of the day by the Bengals.
See, because that's what happens when you start to throw every down. Even teams that are not pass rushing teams can or will become pass rushing teams. Because when the defense knows what you're doing or what you're going to do, you don't have a chance.
3rd down and 15-14. The ball back at the 34. And 5 minutes left. The Bengals leading by 3. Again, everybody up on the line of scrimmage, and now they back out of there. Not all of them. The blitz is on, and down goes Sims. Phillips was the first one there, a loss of 9.
They still have not been able to block that all-out blitz. It's the 3rd time it got there today. They just outnumber them. 4 wide receivers. You're not going to have enough blockers. You only have 5 offensive linemen and 1 back. They came up a guy short for the 4th time today.
Landetta to punt it. Good kick. Price stays on his feet and comes out of the pack. Price off to the races. No flags. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Those of you who are watching the Rams and the Redskins, welcome to Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. You joined us, I understand, in the middle of that punt return by Price. The Bengals were ahead 20-17, and that touchdown puts them ahead even more. A 52-yard punt by Landetta, returned 78 yards by Price. The extra point by Jim Breach is good. And the Bengals now lead by 10 points. Mitchell Price, a 78-yard punt return. The Giants dominated the first half, but the second half has belonged to the Bengals.
Well, the second half, and then that brought not only the team to life. Look at this bench. It brought this whole crowd, the whole stadium to life. Then they make plays like this. Not good coverage and poor tackling. The Giants in this 4th quarter, their tackling has been atrocious. Their tackling on defense, their tackling on special teams has been atrocious, and Cincinnati has come up with the plays.
There's the man who returned the punt. Mitchell Price. We're at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Pat Summerall, John Madden. That's the 3rd longest punt return in Bengal history.
Now you can see the urgency on that Giant sideline. There's a team that is defending Super Bowl champion. They have a big game with Philadelphia coming up, and then Washington. But if they don't win this one today, what are their chances for a playoff? Ray Handley thinks you have to be 10-6 to get in the playoff. I agree with that. Phil Simms says teams like Detroit, Dallas have fever. We don't have the fever. I also agree with that.
Lee Johnson to kick it off. Another booming kick by Johnson. Hampton is going to down it in the end zone again.
Now the Giants do have some urgency. They have just over 4 minutes. They have 2 timeouts left, and now they have to think in terms of 2 scores. Sam Weiss is getting some life in him. He's over there talking to his offense. He wants to get them, and you talk about the plays they want to run and the pace when they get the ball. I would imagine they'd want to slow down their offensive pace.
1st and 10 Giants. Simms back to throw. And again, he's hustled out of the pocket. A flag on the play. Simms headed for out of bounds and headed for the turf.
I think the flag is going to be holding against the Giants. That's in the area where they usually call offensive holding.
Those of you who just joined us, let's bring you up to date on the scoring. The Giants scored first, made it 7-0 on a 15-yard Simms pass to Baker. Cincinnati tied it up on a flea flicker play. Esiason to McGee. In the second quarter, the Giants recaptured the lead 14-7. Simms to Baker again. And then Barr made it 17-7 with a 37-yard field goal. Since then, Breach from 35 yards out. Green with a 1-yard touchdown run tied the score. Breach from 35 yards. The field goal gave Cincinnati the lead. that 78-yard punt return.
On that last play, it was a holding call against Eric Moore, who's playing right tackle in place of Riesenberg.
Sims gets it outside to Meggett. Again, an NFL update, and let's send you back to our New York studios and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, in San Francisco, 49ers trying to keep their playoff hopes alive and keep the Saints from clinching. Steve Bono, 10 yards to Dexter Carter with 4 minutes to play. It's a 24-24 tie. Saints and the 49ers, Pat.
Sims dumps it out to Meggett. And this time, Ricky Dixon stays with him. No gain.
This is tough with the Giants now needing the 2 scores. We're talking about going backwards fast, having to use no huddle. This is where it hurts, where Phil Simms hasn't played all year. These are the situations he hasn't been in. The other guys haven't been in and with him. And you talk about 3rd and long being tough. This is it.
Sims out of the pocket is going to take off and got the first down and stop the clock at 2:49 remaining.
Now I think that was a big play for the Giants because they were able to get out of bounds, stop the clock, calm this crowd down a little, get in and huddle up. I'm about to give Ray Hanley a cough drop. But now they can huddle up. But after this, when the clock is running, I think they're going to have to keep going with no huddle and a speed-up offense.
1st and 10 at their own 31. Down by 10. Sims has time. Pass complete to McCaffrey.
Now remember, I think when you're thinking in terms of 10 points, that you can think field goal and touchdown, and it can be in any order. I think you can go for field goal, onside kick, then touchdown, or vice versa.
Sims to throw it. Chase from behind and taken down from behind by Alfred Williams. That's the 3rd time he has been sacked. And Ray Hanley saying hurry back and hurry up.
Well, one thing, this is tough on Sims having to do this and not having done it. I think one of the things, when they were down by 3 points, they abandoned the run way too soon. Now they have to throw every down.
McCaffrey. Wayne Haddix made the stop, and we'll get the 2-minute warning right now. 2 minutes to go. 2 timeouts left for the Giants. They're down by 10. Cincinnati 27, the Giants 17, 2 minutes remain. Everson Walls had a tough time. So did Lawrence Taylor. Sitting is the toughest thing for him.
Yeah, because there's nothing he could do about it. I mean, that's what frustration is all about. You know, when something's going on and you can't do anything about it, all you can do is become frustrated. Some of those other defensive players knew that in the second half, the defense let it get away from them. Defense was poor defense, poor tackling, and of course, the penalties.
Sims to throw. Deep for Meggett, incomplete. Ricky Dixon. Maybe you did give him enough turkey yesterday.
I know it. He's been all over today. Ricky Dixon ate that turkey, then he's been there, and he's been covering guys, knocking balls down. He's been up there in the blitz like a safety, knocking the quarterback down. Of course, as I said earlier, too, he was a #1 draft choice.
For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, the game between the Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals. Our score is 27-17. The Bengals lead the Giants. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety. Pass complete from Sims to Odessa Turner. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast and in the Mountain Time Zone. First down, Giants. The Bengals leading 27-17. Mitchell Price, a 78-yard punt return for a touchdown that gave Cincinnati the 10-point margin. That after a field goal by Breach. Phil Simms has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Lawrence Taylor inactive today. The Bengals have come from 10 points down to lead by 10.
I think the Giants helped them a lot. They've had those 3 pass interference penalties we talked about by Everson Walls and 4 tacklers.
1st and 10 at the Cincinnati 39. Simms steps up into the pocket. Chased and throws. Odessa Turner down inside the Bengal 20. Stopped by Mitchell Price.
Hey,
the clock is running.
One thing that a receiver always does is when the quarterback starts towards you, you can either go up or come back. Don't stay where you are. Odessa Turner came back.
Simms quickly incomplete. Almost picked off, intended for McCaffrey. Fulcher was the cover man, and it must have been just cramps when he came out a minute ago.
Yeah, because he's been all over the field today. And this Cincinnati secondary has covered well today because there haven't been a lot of guys open, especially in this second half. And now the Giants need 2 scores. Again, it could be a combination field goal first, then onside kick, then touchdown. But they need those 3 things. A score, an onside kick, and another score.
Ingram is the man in motion. Simms to throw, does. Touchdown to Ingram.
And they finally got that blitz blocked. I'll tell you what they did. It was an interesting thing. They brought Ed McCaffrey, their wide receiver, across to block that defensive back on the blitz. They finally picked him up. You're going to see 81 come across McCaffrey, and he's going to pick up the safety blitz. And that allowed Phil Simms to find his receiver and hit Ingram in the end zone. That's an interesting thing. Watch him come across there. You see right there, boom! That picked up the guy they hadn't been able to pick up all day.
Ricky Dixon.
It was McCaffrey, the wide receiver.
Whoa! Extra point is good by Barr. And it's 24-21. 27-24, beg your pardon. A minute and 2 seconds left to play.
You know, we're going to see it's an interesting thing because they've been having trouble in this hole right here with the defensive back coming. So they bring a guy in motion, they bring their guy in, 81, they block him, and that's the block that they finally picked up today that they hadn't picked up all day. See, the motion man goes by. Now watch 81 McCaffrey. See him come across. Boom. He picks him up right there, and that gives Simms time to find Ingram in the end zone. Now the Giants with 1:02, and they only have 1 timeout left. They have to go for an onside kick. And of course Cincinnati also knows that, so they'll have their hands team in there. They'll have 9 guys up in front. So that front guy, that front group of Bengals is 9. They'll have 2 deep. I would imagine the Giants would go to some kind of shift or overload to the side. Here comes the shift or overload to the left. This is the side bar I'll kick to.
Out of bounds. And the Bengals will take over. That's the one thing you don't want to happen.
Yeah, you don't want it. You want one of those artificial turf bounces where it goes and bounces up in the air. I think Bard put a little too much on it. You like it where it goes spin, spin, and boom, up high in the air. Of course, that's a penalty, so they get to re-kick it. Now, you get 1 kick that you can kick out of bounds. You get penalty. If you do it the second time, then the Bengals get the ball there. If the Giants had some more timeouts, they wouldn't have to do this.
They didn't have the penalty marked off.
No, they were just going to let them try it again. Say, oh, what the heck, it didn't work, go try it again. No, you got to move it back 5 yards. Now you try it again.
The kick still has to go just 10 yards.
Yeah, that doesn't change anything there. It just gives them another opportunity. Now if it goes out of bounds, then it goes back. Then Cincinnati gets the ball. But they could kick deep if they had any timeouts, but they have used 2 of their 3 timeouts.
Here comes the shift again. And the Bengals take it and run out of bounds. Eric Thomas caught the ball on the fly and ran it out of bounds. So the Bengals will take over with a minute to go.
Hey, and now all Phil Simms can do in the offense is hope that there's some way they can get a turnover. You don't expect the Bengals are going to let them get in that position at all. In fact, I would think all the Bengals are going to do, they're in a position just to go that kneel down play.
And force the Giants to use their last timeout, which they do. And now there's really not much they can do about it.
Well, the Giants had them, and they just couldn't put them away. And Sam Weiss, I know, is proud of his guys, because when you come into a game 1-11, you don't have things going your way, and when you can get a win against the defending champions, that's something to build on for the future.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. This CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the National Football League is prohibited. Again, the Bengals out of the huddle. 2nd down. And now the clock will roll. Today's game produced by Robert D. Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann, directed by Duke Struck. The senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker.
Now the Giants, you can just see by looking at their sideline, have really dug a hole for themselves that they might not be able to get out of.
They got 3 tough ones coming up.
Yep, they should have come in here with a little more urgency. They had them. They should have put them away. They didn't. They were banged up. But the Bengals were here for the taking, and they didn't take them. And they gave the Bengals life, and the Bengals took the life and the victory.
So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from Riverfront Stadium, where the final score was Cincinnati 27, the Giants 24. 60 minutes is next, except on the West Coast and in the Mountain Time